So this is going to be a two-part video. I just had so many things I got done, I just can't fit it into one. So the first one is going to be about burning these big piles and the huge fires I had, along with some drone footage and milling some boards that I was going to use for my shelves. Then part two to the whole thing is going to be me deciding I don't want to use those 1-inch boards, and I use the big 2-inch ones I made, a couple of weeks ago, I guess it's been now. And then what I'm going to do is put that shelf together in part two, along with building some stands to hold the wood as I mill. So a lot went on, had a really good time. 3 full days out here with Charlie, so it was a blast. Enjoy these next couple of videos. Woohoo! Finally made it back. It's been like, I don't know, 6 weeks since I've been to the cabin, and the snow's gone down. So there aren't piles sitting on the deck, no shoveling to do, and I was able to drive all the way to the place today, which is nice because I brought a big load of stuff. But Saturday morning I drove in on, and looking forward to a long weekend. It is President's Weekend, and I'm going to do a handful of things this weekend. I'm going to try to get a couple more boards milled, but with one of them, I'm going to put a bookshelf inside the cabin. So looking forward to doing that. I'm also going to try to burn a couple of piles of my slash, which is essentially the limbs off of the trees that I've been cutting down. And I'm going to start with that right away this morning before any wind comes up. But man, I got the fire going. I got some water melting because Charlie's with this weekend, and I've got some coffee on the stove. So hopefully we have a lot of fun. I'll let you know if anything else changes, and I'm going to go check trail cams right now, so I'll get those posted for you so you can see what kind of craziness went on the last 5 weeks, or 6 weeks, I guess. So enjoy. Well, here we go. I'm going to go down and check trail cams, put another one up, and Charlie's very excited about doing this. So we're going to try to do a little more filming with the GoPro this trip, see how good I can get with it or not. So let's get down there and see what's on. Somebody's happy. Our first camera is right here. Got some grouse moving, and some bunnies moving. Oh, look at all these grouse tracks. They definitely like it here. As does she. Here we go, set up, and it looks right down this way to where Charlie is, and hopefully we can get some nice animals walking up and down this path again. So these are the two piles I really want to get burnt this weekend, but right now it's a little too windy. Give you an idea of the proximity. Another big pile, cabin and log cabin that I'm building. So let's get this thing done. Ooh, look, I could do some stripping of bark here. They've come out in the sun enough to be able to do that, and looks like there's enough room around the cabin too to be doing some work on that possibly. Awesome. And then here's my log I'm going to rip a 1-inch slab out of, and that's what I'm going to make our bookshelf for above the window out of. So let's get to work. Well, the wind is currently at a minimum, so we're going to start with this small bunch and see if we can go from there. I'm going to start it at the top so that it could slowly go down rather than starting at the bottom and just having everything just blow up in our face. Trying to keep the flames at a minimum, I guess, is what I'm trying to do by starting on the top like this. Hello, helper. Snow bath. So I got this really cool app that allows me to align my solar panels, and you'll see, I'll show you how it works. But I've got them almost perfect. They're a little bit steep on their angle still right now, but that's okay. I'd rather have them a little steep so the snow slides off than make them a little more shallow where the snow sticks and I can't get any sun. Oh, and I can start to see there are small snowflakes starting to fall. So it is going to be a beautiful night here. Well, look what just came in. Some nasty weather. Snowing, wind is blowing as you can hear, so I had to move the car way down the road. We got to hike back up to the cabin because I'm pretty sure this is going to fill in by morning and I wouldn't be able to get out. So I'll show you where the worst of it is up here in a minute. So this is where it's going to get rough when the wind blows in. You can see Charley up there and how little she is compared to the snow. This is what it looks like hiking in, and this is why I had to move the car, because if this fills in, no way we're getting out. Here's a place that's even worse. Both sides banked up, and they didn't even finish plowing up here. They just gave up, it looks like. So we'll be back in the warm cabin in about 5 minutes. All right, here we go. We got the big old farm boss See if we can get this thing started and how fast I can cut a couple of 1-inch boards that are going to turn into my shelves inside the cabin. Let's go. Oh yeah, that's a nice board. Well, the farm boss certainly did its job. Look at this mess I've made. But also, look at these boards. Those are going to make beautiful bookshelves. I also turned this up on its edge so that if it does snow more tonight, the snow will just fall right off. All right, time for dinner. Holy crap, that is one hot fire. Oh man, I'm glad I did it now because it's calm and it's got snow all around it. So I might take some of this pile right over here and add it to it as long as I'm going right now and things seem to be going well. So, woo, warm one. Tonight, but it's made me have to man the burn piles, because they have been continuing to want to somewhat flare up. So I've been shoveling snow on them and keeping an eye on them pretty much all night. But it is a beautiful night to be doing that, that's for darn sure. Look at that moon. Wow. Yeah, doing some morning work, trying to do some editing, and my friend still does not want to get out of bed. She's tired. Charlie, hi honey. Breakfast of champions. Plus, who doesn't cook their eggs in bacon grease? It's the best way. Oh, what are you peeking around the corner for? You think some is for you? Okay, I'll give you some too. With it still being winter, always got to be wearing boots. And shout out to my Canadian friends. These are Kamek boots that come from Canada. They're supposed to be 20 below. I wouldn't say they're quite that warm, but I've had them for 6-7 years now, and you can hardly tell they've been used, and I use these to death. I also put on gaiters, and the reason for the gaiters is that when I'm walking in the snow, it keeps snow from getting down inside my boots, but also protects me from the sawdust getting inside my boots as well. So these are fairly disposable. I've got a nicer set at home that I didn't wear, but these are the ones I use. You can see they're all full of oil and nasty. So got to get ready to get outside today. Well, there we go. So it's about freezing out, maybe just a little bit below freezing. So it's a sweatshirt, and that's about it kind of day. Probably put my bandana on to keep my head from burning and have something comfortable underneath my chainsaw helmet. So let's keep the day moving. Quick little commentary on burning these two piles that were sitting here. And this one's crazy because it's still smoking. But I came in and you can see where there's snow and ice that I put on here to make sure that it didn't get totally out of control last night. But this wind is continuing to come up, and I'm just keeping a real close eye on it still, because you can still see, if I zoom in, there are still embers underneath that, and it's been well over 12 hours, and I had the thing completely covered in snow last night to put it out. So man, these fires burn hot, and you gotta be careful with them. Well, I think we're gonna have to wrap it up. This video got way too long, so I'm gonna split it in two. So I'm not even sure what's gonna be on each one of the videos. I know that there is definitely either this one or the next one, the building of the shelves. I'm also going to work on putting together a stands for milling, which is going to be today before I head for home, and then the normal cleanup. But I'll have another one of these at the end of the other video. But by the way, yeah, Angry Beaver. Love my Duluth trading stuff. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed this one. Like I said, I'm not sure exactly what it entailed, but we'll definitely get one put out this week, another one put out next week in this two-parter that we've done here. Charlie loved it. I loved it. We've been doing a lot of just weird stuff we haven't done before, using the chainsaw and whatnot. So hope you enjoy, and remember, get out there and do it yourself.